Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today, we are going to take an in-depth look at the 1971 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, specifically the Philadelphia Mint issue with no mint mark. At first glance, this penny may appear ordinary, but there is a fascinating story behind its history, rarity, and current market value. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American coinage since its introduction in 1909, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse since 1959. The 1971 penny falls into what is often called the modern Lincoln cent era. This coin was struck during a period when the United States was undergoing significant social and political change. Pennies were widely circulated and used in everyday life, making them a common yet essential part of the economy. The no-mint mark variety, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, is the version we will focus on today. The 1971 Lincoln cent has a classic and recognizable design. On the front, or obverse, it displays a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above, "Liberty," to the left, and the year, 1971, to the right. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial dominates the center, with "United States of America," above, "E pluribus unum," just below that, and the denomination, 1 cent, at the bottom. This penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which was standard before the composition change in 1982. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a smooth, plain edge. The obverse design was created by Victor D. Brenner, while the reverse was designed by the U.S. Mint staff in collaboration with the engravers. In 1971, the Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous number of pennies, nearly 1.92 billion pieces. Because of this high mintage, most 1971 no-mint mark pennies that survive today are considered common in circulated condition. However, despite the large numbers, there are several factors that make certain examples of this coin highly sought after by collectors. Condition, mint state grading, and the presence of errors or varieties can dramatically affect the coin's value. While most circulated 1971 pennies are worth just a few cents above face value, the story changes when we examine uncirculated coins. Pennies in mint state condition, graded MS 63 to MS 65, can fetch between $20 to $40. Higher grade examples, particularly those graded MS 66 or above, are significantly rarer and can command prices reaching into the hundreds of dollars. Exceptionally well-preserved specimens, graded MS 67 or higher, can sell for several $1,000s. The dramatic increase in value for coins in pristine condition reflects the collector demand for well-preserved examples that retain their original luster and detail. Another factor that enhances the collectability of the 1971 penny is the presence of minting errors and varieties. One of the most notable is the Double Die Obverse variety, which results in visible doubling on elements such as the date, the word "Liberty," or even Lincoln's profile. Double die examples are highly prized by collectors because they are rare, visually striking, and represent a fascinating production anomaly. The value of a 1971 double die penny can range from a few $100s in lower mint state grades to several $1,000s for high-grade, eye-appealing specimens. Other error varieties, such as struck-through planchets, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can also add significant value, depending on their severity and visual impact. Today, in 2025, the market for 1971 no-mint mark pennies remains robust among collectors. While circulated examples continue to trade near face value or a small premium, uncirculated and error coins maintain strong demand. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay a premium for coins that are well preserved, properly graded, and feature notable minting anomalies. A high-grade MS 66 or MS 67 1971 penny can easily sell for a few $100s, while rare double die or error coins can reach into the thousands, sometimes exceeding $10,000 for exceptionally rare specimens. This dual nature, common in circulation but potentially extremely valuable in the right form, is part of what makes the 1971 penny such an interesting and appealing collectible. For collectors seeking to maximize the value of a 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, it is important to carefully examine the coin's condition under magnification, looking for wear, scratches, or loss of luster. Identifying errors, double die characteristics, or other anomalies can significantly affect the coin's value. Having coins professionally graded by a reputable grading service is also a critical step for establishing authenticity and determining precise market value. Proper storage in protective holders or coin slabs preserves the coin's condition and ensures that its value remains intact for years to come. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a coin that bridges the everyday and the extraordinary. In most cases, it is a common piece of American currency, circulating quietly in change jars and pocketbooks. Yet, under the right circumstances, in pristine condition or as a rare error, it becomes a highly collectible item capable of commanding impressive prices on the numismatic market. Its long history, widespread use, and occasional anomalies make it a fascinating subject for collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who has just discovered an old penny in a jar, the 1971 Lincoln cent offers both a tangible connection to history and the potential for real market value. As always, if you happen to come across a 1971 no-mint mark penny in your collection, take a close look. The coin may surprise you. Keep it protected, consider professional grading if it appears to be in excellent condition or features unique characteristics, and remember that what seems ordinary at first glance can sometimes be quite extraordinary. This is the beauty of coin collecting, uncovering the hidden stories and values in pieces of history that have passed through countless hands over decades. The 1973 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. On the surface, it may look like just another penny, but there is a story behind its creation, production, and what it can be worth today in 2025. The 1973 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running series that features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that has been in circulation since 1959. In 1973, the Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without any mint mark. This means that the area below the date on the obverse is blank, as the Philadelphia Mint did not stamp a P on coins at that time. The penny was struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which was typical for pre-1982 Lincoln cents. This copper content gives the coin some intrinsic value in addition to its numismatic interest. The Philadelphia Mint produced a massive number of these coins, over 3.7 billion, making the standard circulating 1973 penny extremely common. Despite the high mintage, there are a few factors that can make certain 1973 no-mint mark pennies more desirable to collectors. One of the main factors is the color of the coin. Coins that retain their original reddish copper color, referred to as red or RD coins, are the most valuable. Coins that have aged or toning changes to a mix of red and brown, called red-brown or RB, or fully brown coins, labeled BN, are generally less valuable, though still collectible. Another factor is the condition or grade of the coin. Circulated coins will generally trade for only a few cents above face value, but coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can command significantly higher prices. The better preserved the surfaces, the more attractive the coin is to collectors. Additionally, there are error varieties of the 1973 penny that can increase its value considerably. These include coins with doubling of letters or numbers, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies. While these error coins are far less common than standard strikes, they can attract attention from collectors and dealers, particularly if the error is dramatic and the coin is in high grade. It's important to note, however, that not all variations are highly valuable. Subtle errors or minor imperfections may not significantly affect market value. When it comes to the value of a 1973 no-mint mark penny today in 2025, the wide range of possible conditions plays a key role. Most circulated coins are worth just a few cents, generally around 25 cents, making them slightly above face value for collectors who are completing a set. Coins in about uncirculated condition can fetch a few dollars, while higher mint state coins, particularly those that retain their original red color, can sell for upwards of $15 to $25. The very highest grade coins, those that are graded MS-67 or above and have exceptional eye appeal, have sold at auction for thousands of dollars. Such coins are extremely rare, and their value reflects both scarcity and collector demand. Coins with verified and dramatic errors, such as Double Die Obverse varieties, may also achieve significant premiums, depending on their grade and rarity. The main factors that drive value are condition, color, and rarity of errors. A coin with bright, original red luster in uncirculated condition is always more desirable than one that has dulled to brown, even if both are technically uncirculated. Error coins need proper authentication to realize their full potential, as unverified anomalies may not carry the same market appeal. Population reports from grading services can also affect value, as coins with fewer known examples tend to command higher prices. Demand from collectors fluctuates over time, and coins that are sought after for completing high-quality sets can see temporary spikes in value at auction. There are also a few misconceptions surrounding the 1973 no-mint mark penny. One common myth is that all 1973 pennies are rare or extremely valuable. In reality, the standard circulated coins are abundant and worth very little beyond face value. Another misconception is that the absence of a mint mark automatically makes a coin special. The lack of a mint mark simply indicates that it was produced in Philadelphia, which struck billions of these pennies. Finally, some people mistakenly associate this coin with experimental aluminum pennies, but no legitimate aluminum Lincoln cents were issued in 1973. That experiment occurred in 1974. For collectors, the best approach is to examine coins carefully, paying attention to color, surface preservation, and potential errors. Coins in uncirculated condition should be considered for grading by reputable services, as certification can significantly increase market value. Even common 1973 pennies can have long-term appeal for collectors seeking complete sets, and high-grade examples can provide excellent investment potential. Keeping pennies in proper storage and avoiding handling that can introduce wear is essential to maintain their numismatic value. While the 1973 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark is far from rare in its standard circulated form, there are opportunities for collectors to find coins that are worth significantly more than face value. Coins that retain their original red color, are in uncirculated condition, or feature verified minting errors can achieve considerable premiums in the market. Even today, in 2025, the value of these coins ranges from mere cents for common circulated examples to thousands of dollars for top-grade, rare, or error coins. The 1973 penny demonstrates how even the most seemingly ordinary coins can hold interest, history, and potential value for those who take the time to examine them closely. So the next time you come across a 1973 penny, take a moment to inspect it carefully, because hidden within ordinary change, there may be an extraordinary coin waiting to be discovered. 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary coin you could find in your pocket or on the street, but for collectors, there is a rich history, unique features, and in some cases, significant value hidden within these small copper discs. Today, we're going to explore everything from its origins and historical context to its rarity, the factors that affect its value, and what you might expect in terms of market worth in 2025. The 1973 D. Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which began in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that replaced the earlier wheatback design. The D mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 3.5 billion of these pennies, making it one of the highest mintage years for the Lincoln cent. Despite such high production, the coin holds interest for collectors due to the variations in condition, coloration, and the occasional mint error that can make certain examples far more desirable than the average circulated coin. The 1973 D penny was struck in the traditional bronze composition that had been standard for Lincoln cents since the early 20th century. The alloy consists of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition remained in place until 1982, when rising copper prices led the U.S. Mint to transition to a predominantly zinc core with a thin copper plating. The 1973 D penny therefore represents one of the last decades of the classic bronze Lincoln cent, which is one of the reasons collectors value high-grade examples. When we consider rarity, it is important to distinguish between mintage numbers and collectible scarcity. While over 3.5 billion 1973 D pennies were minted, most of them were circulated and many show significant wear. In this sense, the average coin is quite common and does not hold significant monetary value. However, rarity in the collector's sense often comes from the survival rate of uncirculated coins, the presence of attractive coloration, and the existence of error coins. Coins that have retained their original red color, known as red or RD pennies, are particularly prized because the copper has not oxidized to brown over the decades. The presence of uncirculated coins with strong luster, sharp detail, and no post-mint damage can dramatically increase value even if the coin itself is technically a common date. Error coins are another category where a 1973 D penny can become much more than a pocket change item. Common types of errors include die breaks, where a portion of the die has chipped away during striking, producing a raised area on the coin called a cud. Off-center strikes, double strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime planchet, are extremely rare and highly collectible. Even subtle doubling of letters or the date can add value if the error is well defined. Collectors are willing to pay premiums for coins that display these unusual traits, especially if the coin is also in uncirculated condition. In terms of value, the 1973 D Lincoln penny spans a wide range depending on condition and type. Circulated examples are generally worth only a few cents above face value, with most collectors considering them common and inexpensive. Uncirculated coins in lower mint state grades can range from 10 to 30 cents, while higher mint state examples can be worth several dollars. The real premium is reserved for high-grade, flawless, or error-struck coins. For example, a 1973 D penny in exceptional condition with full red color and no signs of wear can command significant attention, and rare certified coins with major errors have been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. The factors that drive value include the coin's grade, coloration, and any unique minting anomalies. Coins are often categorized by their color, with red coins typically commanding the highest premium, followed by red, brown, and brown. High-grade coins with full luster, sharp detail, and no post-mint damage are also more desirable. Coins with unusual errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or cut errors, are valued both for their rarity and for their visual appeal. Certification by a professional grading service adds additional assurance for buyers and can significantly enhance a coin's market value. Collectors and sellers should also consider market trends and realistic expectations. Most 1973 D pennies in circulated condition are not worth much beyond face value, but the right specimen, particularly one with a unique error or exceptional condition, can command prices far above the ordinary. The market for Lincoln cents remains active among hobbyists and serious collectors, with demand highest for uncirculated, high-grade, and error examples. Keeping an eye on auctions and coin marketplaces can provide a sense of current pricing and trends, which is essential for anyone considering buying or selling these coins. For collectors who want to maximize the value of a 1973 D penny, careful examination is crucial. Look for coins with strong, vibrant coloration, sharp details, and no post-mint damage. Use magnification to inspect for any anomalies such as die cracks, doubled letters, or off-center strikes. Coins that display these characteristics in combination with a high mint state grade can be especially desirable. Having coins professionally graded and certified is often the best way to ensure authenticity and realize their full market potential. The 1973 D Lincoln 1-cent penny may appear ordinary at first, but it offers a rich story and the potential for remarkable collector value. While the majority of these pennies are common and modestly valued, uncirculated specimens with full red color, high grades, or rare minting errors can be highly sought after and valuable. In 2025, typical circulated coins are worth only a few cents, uncirculated coins can be worth a few dollars, and extraordinary examples can reach into the thousands. Whether you're a beginner looking to understand coin collecting or a seasoned collector tracking high-grade and rare specimens, the 1973 Lincoln penny remains a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. If you have one of these coins in your collection, take the time to examine it carefully. You might discover that it is more valuable than you ever realized, and understanding its condition, color, and any unique traits can help you make informed decisions as a collector or seller. 1974 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, a small, copper-colored coin that has passed through countless hands since it was first struck, but for collectors and coin enthusiasts, it carries layers of history, subtle variations, and potential value that make it worth examining closely. The 1974 Lincoln penny continued the long-standing Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in circulation since 1959. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo. That year marked a period of transition and experimentation for the U.S. Mint, as rising copper prices and economic pressures prompted consideration of alternative materials, yet the standard circulating pennies remained primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. In 1974, pennies were produced at three major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, making the No Mint Mark designation an identifying feature for coins struck there. Approximately 4.23 billion No Mint Mark pennies were produced that year, making them among the most commonly encountered Lincoln cents in circulation. Despite the enormous numbers, subtle distinctions in condition, coloration, and potential errors mean that even these common coins can possess numismatic interest. The vast majority of 1974 pennies found today are circulated, exhibiting wear, toning, and the familiar brown patina that develops over decades. In circulated condition, these coins often trade at or near face value, but as with all coins, condition is critical, and uncirculated examples in pristine state carry a premium. Collectors categorize Lincoln cents by condition using standard grading terms such as circulated, uncirculated, and mint state. The color of the coin is also crucial. Coins that retain their original red luster from the copper are generally more desirable than those that have turned red-brown or fully brown. An uncirculated 1974 penny in high mint state condition can command a value ranging from a few dollars up to around $10, with red coins in top grades fetching higher amounts. Exceptional coins, graded MS66 or above, can reach higher values depending on eye appeal and market demand. While most of the pennies are common, there are rarities and anomalies that attract significant attention. One of the most intriguing variations associated with 1974 is the experimental aluminum penny. In response to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint struck a limited number of aluminum cents to test their viability as legal tender. These experimental coins were never released to the public and the vast majority were recalled and destroyed. Today, only a few examples are known to exist, and they are considered legendary within the numismatic community. A genuine aluminum penny, if authentic and legally obtainable, can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, though provenance and legality are critical factors in its valuation. Beyond the aluminum experiment, other error coins exist from the 1974 issue, including double dies, off-center strikes, and off-metal planchets. These errors, while rare, can significantly increase the value of a coin when found in high-grade condition. The market for 1974 No Mint Mark pennies in 2025 reflects a range of values depending on condition and rarity. Circulated coins remain plentiful and generally hold minimal premium above face value. Coins in uncirculated condition or those with original red coloration are more sought after, with typical values ranging from $3 to $15 for mint state examples. Red MS66 coins or higher can fetch significantly higher amounts, while the aluminum experimental penny remains a unique and extremely valuable collectible, albeit with legal and provenance considerations. Collectors looking to authenticate or grade a 1974 penny should carefully assess its weight, color, and condition, and seek professional grading for coins that appear to be high grade or unusual. The standard copper penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams, while a genuine aluminum penny weighs significantly less, around 0.93 grams. Visual inspection under magnification can reveal doubling, off-center strikes, or other anomalies, while professional grading ensures accurate evaluation and certification of value. Despite being a common coin, the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny holds continued interest for collectors, particularly those assembling type sets or seeking high-grade examples of Lincoln Memorial cents. Its significance lies not only in the history it represents, spanning the post-war period of American coinage and reflecting economic conditions of the 1970s, but also in the stories embedded within its variations and errors. The 1974 penny demonstrates how even everyday coins can carry layers of complexity, from subtle differences in minting to rare experimental issues that capture the imagination of collectors. Whether as a collectible for its historic context, as a potential investment in high-grade examples, or as a point of fascination for those intrigued by numismatic rarities, the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny remains a coin worth examining closely. For those who encounter these coins in change, in collections, or through auctions, understanding the nuances of condition, color, and error types can reveal surprising value in what might otherwise appear to be a simple 1-cent piece. The 1974 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is far more than a small coin in circulation. It is a window into American economic history, minting practices, and the subtle world of numismatic variation. While the majority of these pennies are common and carry minimal value, high-grade uncirculated coins with rich red coloration, or extraordinary rarities such as the experimental aluminum cent hold significant interest and can reach considerable market values. For collectors, investors, and enthusiasts, the 1974 Lincoln penny represents both accessibility and potential, a coin that can be studied, appreciated, and, in the case of rare examples, even transform from humble currency into a prized collectible. Whether you are casually interested in coins or deeply invested in the study of American numismatics, the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny offers a story, a challenge, and a connection to the history of U.S. coinage that continues to resonate in 2025. The 1974 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. At first glance, it might appear to be an ordinary coin, the kind you find in your pocket or loose change, but this particular cent carries a fascinating history, some rare varieties, and a market value that surprises many collectors and enthusiasts. By the end of this video, you will have a complete understanding of the 1974 penny, including its history, production, rarity, and current value in 2025. The Lincoln cent, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, has been in continuous production since 1909. The memorial reverse design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the original wheat ears design. In 1974, the Denver Mint produced this coin, which is indicated by the small D mint mark beneath the date. This coin was part of the regular Lincoln Memorial series and struck in the traditional composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Despite being common in circulation, the 1974 penny has some interesting features and rarities that make it noteworthy to collectors. In 1974, rising copper prices prompted the U.S. Mint to experiment with alternative metals for coinage. One of the most famous experiments was the striking of pattern pennies in aluminum, a metal that was lighter and much less expensive than copper. These aluminum pennies were never officially released to the public, but a few did survive and became legendary among numismatists. The vast majority of 1974 pennies, however, continued to be struck in copper, weighing approximately 3.11 grams with a diameter of about 19 millimeters. The obverse features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse showcases Frank Gasparo's intricate depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. The mintage of the 1974 penny was extremely high, with over 4 billion coins produced, making it one of the most common pennies in circulation. Because of this, most examples are worth little more than face value, especially if they are circulated. However, uncirculated examples in excellent condition can command higher prices. There are also a few interesting variations that add intrigue to this coin. One notable variation involves the size of the date. During 1974, minor changes in the hub used to strike the coins led to the production of both small date and large date varieties. While this difference is subtle, experienced collectors can identify the size variation and, in some cases, pay a slight premium for one variety over the other. In addition to the small and large date distinctions, the coin exists in different colorations based on its surface toning and preservation, including brown, red-brown, and red. These color designations affect value, particularly in uncirculated specimens. Perhaps the most fascinating and highly coveted version of the 1974 penny is the experimental aluminum pattern coin. Unlike the copper version, these pennies were struck on aluminum planchets, weighing roughly 0.93 grams. Only a handful of these experimental coins were ever made, and they were never officially released. The aluminum 1974 penny is considered one of the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins. When authenticated, these coins can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, estimates suggest a potential value of up to $500,000, depending on condition. The legal status of these coins is complex, however, because some are considered government property, making them more of a legendary collector's item than a practical purchase for most. Beyond the experimental aluminum version, there are also error coins and other anomalies that make certain 1974 pennies more interesting. Coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, doubling, or other unusual features can be significantly more valuable than a standard circulated coin. Collectors often seek these error coins because they combine rarity, uniqueness, and historical interest. When it comes to market value in 2025, the vast majority of 1974 pennies remain common. Circulated coins in average condition typically sell for just above face value, while uncirculated coins in mint state can range from a few dollars to slightly higher, depending on their color, luster, and condition. Brown coins in high grades are moderately collectible, whereas red coins, especially in high uncirculated grades, are more desirable and command higher premiums. High-grade, uncirculated coins with excellent preservation can reach into the double-digit range, and certain specimens that are certified by professional grading services may sell for more. The aluminum experimental pennies, however, are on a completely different scale. Because they are extremely rare and highly sought after, their value is extraordinary. Ownership of such coins is limited, and they are generally only found in museum collections or special private collections with careful documentation. Collectors are drawn to the 1974 penny for several reasons. It represents a snapshot of a time when the U.S. Mint was considering changes to the composition of its coinage. It also shows how a seemingly ordinary coin can carry significant historical and financial value when rare varieties are considered. For the average collector, the 1974 penny is accessible, collectible, and occasionally surprising, especially if an unusual error or a particularly well-preserved specimen is discovered. For those interested in collecting, it is important to carefully examine any 1974 pennies for condition, color, and potential errors. Weighing coins can also help detect rare aluminum patterns, which are significantly lighter than the copper version. For collectors who believe they may possess a rare specimen, professional authentication and grading is highly recommended. Certification ensures that the coin is genuine and helps determine its true market value. The 1974 Lincoln Memorial penny may appear common at first glance, but it has layers of history, experimentation, and collectible interest that make it noteworthy. Ordinary copper coins remain abundant and modestly valued, but the rare aluminum experimental version, small date and large date varieties, color variations, and minting errors all add depth to the story of this coin. For collectors, it is a reminder that even the most familiar coins can hide secrets and surprises, offering a fascinating glimpse into the history of American coinage. Whether you are casually interested or a serious numismatist, the 1974 Lincoln penny offers both educational value and collectible excitement. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this detailed exploration, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more coin collecting insights, and share your own discoveries in the comments. Happy collecting, and may your pennies be more than just spare change.